Hey internets, it's Jake, and today on Mini Terrain Domain, I'm going to show you how to make overlays and other graphics for use in your Dungeons & Dragons and other role-playing game live streams. In part 1, we're going to focus just on building the overlay. In part 2, I'm going to show you how to build off of what we've done in part 1 and create the remaining assets for your stream. Let's get started. Okay, as we get started, I want to say a couple of words real quick about using artwork in your live streams. Whatever you do, please respect the artists who create original photography or artwork. Always make sure that you secure the proper licenses and rights before using any artwork. The artwork you're going to see in the following tutorial has been taken from places such as pixabay.com, and each piece of art is verified to have the proper non-attribution or attribution Creative Commons license. Always respect artists. We're going to continue on though, and I'm going to show you how using these same assets you can create the rest of your stream package. So let's continue on. So I can easily turn off this piece here, which is cut up, and actually this should be in the overlay package. Drag that up there. So now when I turn off the overlay, I turn off everything. We're going to turn on this background here. We are going to create a copy of it. I'm going to hide this one once again, and I'm going to rasterize that. And then I'm going to go into my overlay. Everything's off. But I'm going to go into the overlay, and I'm going to grab the title. I'm going to hit Control J. I'm going to drag it up and out. Close that down. Now we have our title. Control T for transform. And I'm going to bring this into the middle. And I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Hit enter. Now we have our title very large. This is for our promo image. We want to tell people the game that we are going to be broadcasting. So now we're going to add a layer of text down here that says let's change this to white. And then we're going to say streaming every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, or whatever your time zone is. I'm going to hit enter. Actually, I'm going to leave that as its own line. Hit enter. Control T to transform, or you can change the font. And we're going to make this a bit bigger. Holding Alt Shift to keep that centered. Streaming every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And let's center this up in the document. And line it up about midway here. I'm going to hit Control. Actually, I'm going to put some effects on there. I'm going to use the same effect that we have already saved from copying it. We're going to paste this layer style in here, and let's get rid of the gradient overlay, the secondary stroke, and there, that pops. Perfect. You can choose another color if you want, or you can leave it with the white. Now you could call this perfectly good. I like to put my players' names up at the top. You can easily do that, exactly what we did with streaming every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And you could put like a small first name, large last name, however you want to do that. I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment. First, we're going to add, by Control J, duplicate, Control Shift, arrow key down. We're going to bring this down here. We want to tell people where they can watch the game, of course. Only on youtube.com. Whoops. Only on YouTube / oh, this font doesn't support that. You got to pay attention to what things your fonts support. So let's say only on your channel on YouTube. Or something similar. I would say only on twitch.tv/miniterraindomain. And then you can play around with the alignment however you want to do that. And I'll show you how to do the names real quick. We're going to go ahead and we are going to, I'm actually going to move this up here. And I'm going to group all these together. Control G. We're going to call this one promo image. And then we'll open this up. And this down here. This is just for good stream organization. Or rather, good file organization between your layers. Here. Okay. So now we'll duplicate this one. Control J. Control Shift, arrow key. I'm just going to bring this all the way up to the top. Because this is centered, this is why this is going to work really well. We're going to get that. Always want to leave some header room. Don't crowd your titles on the edges. Sometimes they may get cut off. I'm going to bring it down just a little bit. And I'm going to select the whole thing. And I'm going to say, first name. And then I'm going to, in here, got to adjust this. Make sure that's set to auto for the difference between the two lines. Hit enter, last name. And then I'm going to make my first name, I'm going to select that. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. So we're going to make first name be 12 points. And we're going to select last name. We're going to make that be, say, 16 points is good. And then I'm going to select all of this. And we're good. Enter. So this is first name, last name centered. And then I'm going to do Control J. I'm going to go all the way to the left. Again, leaving some room on the side. And then I'm going to go back to the original first name, last name. Control J, Control Shift, all the way to the right. I'm going to make a copy of this one, Control J, and I'm going to center it between the first two. And then I'm going to go this one, Control J to copy, Control Shift, whoops. Got to switch to the copy. And okay, let's try this again. Lost when I copied. See, this is where your organization comes into play. So we've got our first one. I'm going to call this Credit Center. Credit right. Credit right center. Credit left. Control J to duplicate that one. Credit left center. And then Control Shift. There we go. And there's our names. They're a little bit on the big side, so we're going to do this. We're going to take all of these guys here. Control G for group. Call that credits. Move it up here. And we're going to do the transform tool. Make these just a little bit smaller. Move it up a hair. Enter. And then within there, I can take then credit left and I can move it all the way over. Then I can move left center. Line it up a little in between those. Credit right over to the edge. Credit right center. There we go. There is our promo image. This is what we would share on social media to tell people about our game. So we're going to go ahead, cut that down, close that down, and we're going to hit Control S to save. And then we're going to hit Control Shift S, save as, and we're going to save this as Blood of the Raven. And we're going to call this promo. Change our file type to JPEG and save. Okay. Now for this next piece, we're going to take our entire promo image and copy it with Control J. I'm going to change the name to Stream Assets, or Stream Placards rather. And it's your choice if you want to leave the credits up or not. We're going to go ahead and leave the credits here. And we're going to go down to this part where it says streaming every Thursday and only on. And I'm going to delete the only on. I'm going to hide this version of the promo image. And we're going to take streaming every Thursday, select the whole thing, and type stream starting soon. And we're going to Control T, Alt Shift for center. I'm just going to make that bigger. And make sure this is centered up. There. And then we're going to call this, so we've got our stream starting soon. And this one gets a little bit tricky because we don't want to save the whole thing multiple times and create a bigger file when the same assets are being used. So we're going to go ahead and duplicate this one, hide it, and we're going to say, we will return shortly, or we're on a break, whatever you want to call it. Control J to make another copy, hide this one. We're going to call this one thanks for watching, and hit enter. Boom, we've just created our placards. So we're going to hit Control S to save the whole document. Control Shift S is going to bring us back to here. We're going to change it to a JPEG, and we're going to call it Blood of the Raven. This is thanks for watching, so we're going to call it post stream. We're going to save it, hit OK. We'll unselect this one, reselect this one, and we're going to call it Control Shift S, and we're going to call it JPEG. Save it as a JPEG, and we're going to call this break. We don't need to call it stream. Enter. Okay. And then, of course, you probably already figured this out. We'll hide this one, turn this one on. Control Shift S to save as. Change this to a JPEG. And we are going to call this one the free stream. Save as. Okay. There we go. These are the placards you would use during your game to tell people when you're ready to start streaming, when you're going to be on a break, or when you want to thank them for watching the game. The final piece that we're going to do here is I'm going to turn these off, and I'm going to group these and call them placard text. Enter. And we're going to go ahead and make a duplicate of this. Again, it's your choice if you want to leave the names, the credits up there. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to go down here to the placard text, and I'm going to change this to thumbnail text, because we are creating the thumbnails for your VODs that will show up on your YouTube channel. You want each one, you want a similar look so that people know, oh, hey, that's so-and-so's The Blood of the Raven. They'll recognize it immediately by the text and the continuity of images, but they want to be able to see what episode you're on. So we're going to take our thanks for watching and our will return. We're going to get rid of those and turn this one back on. And very simply, I'm going to do a episode 1. And you can just stop there, or you can put episode, now that changed the font, episode 1. And then, it keeps changing my font. So we can change it, we can call it episode 1, and then change our episode 1. And then we can give it a title. Let's skip this for a second. 2 spaces. Episode title. And you can leave it at that. I'm going to actually go like this. Delete, backspace. Space, enter, Control T. Control or Alt Shift. We're going to size that up there. Boom. Nice big letters. Episode 1. And then what you do here, change this to thumbnail. And then each episode, you just come in here and you change that. You can even make your numbers much larger, and you save a new one out each time. So we're going to go ahead for the first one here. Enter. I'm actually going to make this one bigger. And I'm going to go in here. We'll make it 72. You can go as big as you want, small as you want. You can even do a different color, a brighter color. Make it the same as the title, whatever. Regardless, we're going to go ahead and we are going to, once again, Control S to save the whole document. Control Shift S to save as. And you've probably already figured this out by now. We are going to save it as a JPEG, and we are going to call this Blood of the Raven thumbnail episode 1. Now, I want to show you when you save this out as a JPEG, and we're going to go into the file here, and you see all of the assets that we've created. Here's our thumbnail down here, and it's 1.38 megabytes. A little bit on the heavy side for file size. Thumbnail images on YouTube are restricted to 2 megabytes. So one trick that you can do, and I use this for my own thumbnail images, is under File, Export, Save for Web Legacy, and make sure this is set to JPEG high. You don't have to change your resolution or anything, but you look down here and it's compressing it down to 460.6K. I'm going to hit save, and it's bring it in here. and it creates a slightly different file format with these dashes. But you can go here, and we can call it the same thing. Save over that one. And there we go. You have just created a full stream asset package. We have in here our overlay. We have our post-stream placard. We have our pre-stream placard. We have our promo image. We have our thumbnail. All of that stuff in one location. Now, the final thing that I want to show you, this is really cool, is this format, now that you've created this and saved it, is your template going forward. If you want to run a science fiction game, whatever you want to do, completely change the theme, all you have to do using all of these assets is change your titles, change your names, change your colors, your fonts, swap out the main image. You will, for your overlay, have to reselect your frame locations and delete to clear those spaces in there. But this has become a template you can now use for all of your games. Thank you for watching this tutorial. I hope that you have found it useful. If you missed part 1 and would like to learn how to make your own overlays, you can click up in one of the corners here or down below or wherever the link is located these days and learn all about where the process started. For a tutorial showing you how to use all of these assets you've created in OBS Open Broadcast software, look for the link down below or elsewhere on the channel on how to stream Dungeons & Dragons and other role-playing games using OBS and Zoom. If you found this video useful and would like to continue seeing great content like this, please consider subscribing and following to Mini Terrain Domain on YouTube and Twitch. If you would like to become a supporter of Mini Terrain Domain and have a direct impact on these types of tutorials and this kind of content, consider supporting financially at patreon.com/miniterraindomain. Thank you, and have a great day. Metaday!